Tom had always taken immense pride in his character. Patience and loyalty were his defining traits. For a decade and a half, he poured his heart and soul into building a life with Julia, a life anchored in love, shared aspirations, and solemn vows. As an architect, he dedicated countless hours to ensure their home was not just a structure, but a sanctuary filled with warmth, comfort, and memories. He worked tirelessly to create unforgettable vacations, to lay down a secure foundation for their future, and to make Julia feel cherished every day. However, everything he had constructed began to crumble one fateful evening when he stumbled upon a truth that would irrevocably change the course of his life. The unraveling began with a persistent feeling of unease. Julia's demeanor had shifted. She became more withdrawn, almost secretive, particularly about her phone. Late-night outings with friends, which had been rare in their relationship, suddenly became frequent. Initially, Tom dismissed his growing suspicions as mere paranoia, convincing himself that he was simply overthinking things. Yet, the seed of doubt had been planted, and it took root, slowly consuming him from within. One evening, when Julia claimed to be attending a business dinner, Tom's anxiety compelled him to review their home security footage. As he scrolled through the recorded clips, his heart raced with a mix of anticipation and dread. Then, to his utter horror, he witnessed Julia welcoming another man into their home. He watched in disbelief as she laughed with him, poured drinks, and led him to their bedroom. In that instant, the world as Tom knew it shattered beyond repair. But rather than succumbing to a whirlwind of rage and despair, Tom chose to remain calm and strategic. He recognized that if Julia believed she could betray him without consequence, she was gravely mistaken. Over the ensuing days, he maintained a facade of normalcy, carefully plotting his next moves. Confronting Julia in a fit of anger would only invite futile arguments. Instead, he envisioned a revenge that was not just decisive, but also meticulously crafted to leave an indelible mark. His first step was to withdraw every penny from their joint accounts, leaving her with nothing but a stack of unpaid bills and a stark financial void. Then, he discreetly sold his shares in their investment properties, cashing out silently and without a trace, fully aware that Julia depended heavily on his financial stability. Next, he arranged a private consultation with a divorce attorney, meticulously gathering evidence that included the damning security footage, incriminating text messages, and records detailing Julia's hotel stays with her lover. The lawyer assured him that, given the circumstances, he would secure a favorable outcome, but Tom's motives ran deeper. He desired for Julia to experience the same kind of anguish he felt. He orchestrated an intimate dinner at their favorite restaurant, carefully playing the role of the devoted husband she believed she still had. To enhance the ruse, he purchased a beautiful necklace as a gift, intended to lull her into a false sense of security. During the dinner, with a charming smile, he announced, "I have a surprise for you, babe." Julia's eyes sparkled with delight, blissfully unaware of the storm on the horizon. He then connected his phone to the restaurant's large screen and played the footage of her betrayal for everyone present to witness. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Gasps filled the air, and Julia's complexion drained of color as shock enveloped her. Tom calmly remarked, "I knew, and now they all do too," as she attempted to explain herself, reaching out for him in desperation. He simply stood up and whispered, "I took everything. You have nothing now. Enjoy your life." With that, he walked away, leaving her in a haze of humiliation and isolation. However, Tom's plan was far from complete. He aimed to not just leave, but to vanish entirely from her life. That very night, he drove to the airport and boarded a one-way flight to an undisclosed destination. He had already liquidated his assets, adopted a new identity, and erased every trace of his former self. His phone, bank accounts, and social media footprints were all gone. In the following weeks, Julia's frantic search for him began. She reached out to friends, family, and even hired a private investigator, but Tom had seemingly evaporated into thin air. To this day, no one knows where he ended up. Some speculate that he began anew in Europe, blending into the vibrant crowds of Paris or Rome, living under a new name and free from the shackles of betrayal that once bound him. Others believe he retreated to a secluded island, indulging in his wealth in a beachfront villa, awakening each morning to the soothing sounds of the ocean rather than a cacophony of lies. Whispers circulated that Tom had meticulously planned his escape for years, utilizing offshore accounts and fabricated identities to remain untraceable. Some imagined him finding love again, perhaps with someone who truly appreciated loyalty, while others envisioned him quietly sipping whiskey on a mountainside, observing the world continue to spin. In stark contrast, Julia never managed to rebuild her life. The opulent lifestyle she once enjoyed vanished overnight, leaving her grappling with financial instability and a husband who had slipped through her fingers. She struggled to maintain appearances, but friends began to distance themselves, embarrassed by the scandal that had engulfed her life. The man she had betrayed Tom for also disappeared, leaving her isolated and filled with regret. Obsessed with finding Tom, she sought closure, desperate for any sign that he still existed, but her efforts proved fruitless. It was as if he had never lived at all, a haunting aspect of his revenge that echoed in her mind. Tom didn't just leave. He erased himself from her reality entirely. She would never know if he was thriving, happy, or silently observing her from afar. One thing remained certain. Tom had indeed had the last laugh, a bittersweet conclusion to a twisted tale of love and betrayal.